Good afternoon and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you today. And you can always see our programs on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. And today we have with us Margie Clemmer. And thank you for being with us, Margie. She is director of Sethra Casa program, which is the court-appointed special advocate program. And before we get into what we're actually here for, let's talk a little bit about the advocate program, what that is.
Well, Casa is a national nonprofit organization that stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. This particular, like I said, we're umbrellaed under Sethra, and we serve Sequatchie, Grundy, Marion, and Bledsoe County. And what we do is we actually provide volunteer advocates that advocate for the best interest of the children that are involved in the court system. So I don't use necessarily the abused and neglected children that are involved in the court.
So that keeps you pretty busy at times, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it's an absolute wonderful program.
And can you always use more volunteers?
We can always use more volunteers. We have currently, right this moment, we're doing an online volunteer training that allows the volunteers to actually train at their own risk, or we can do in person. If anybody was interested in becoming a volunteer, they could reach me. I'm located at the Sethra office, or I can give you my telephone number and we can go through it that way.
So they can really contact you at the Sethra office that way?
Yes, sir.
That'd be the easiest way. And with that, even though you're through Sethra, I mean, that doesn't mean you just have loads of money backed up to support your program.
No. We, like I threw the word umbrella under Sethra. We are, being part of a national nonprofit, we are not a state program. We do have a grant from the state, so we can say that we're partially funded by the state. But we seek independent grants and individual contributions. We do fundraising, things of that nature.
And that's why you need the extra money, like you do. You had your rodeo. You've been doing that for how many years now?
This was our 4th year, so we're working on our 5th year for the rodeo. This was a very successful year for us. I was very, very pleased. Just looking, the community just helps it grow, and I'm very, very thankful for our sponsors and our community members. But being nonprofit, we are responsible for raising our own funds. We are not highly staffed. We could always use additional staff, but of course that comes with funding. So we work with what we have, and we keep our budget as minimal as possible.
Okay, now we'll start with what we're here for this interview, and that is on December 4th. They're gonna, of course, that's the Christmas parade, but we have a Very Cherry Christmas, and elaborate a little bit on that.
So Very Cherry Christmas is going to be an event, a vendor event, where we're going to close down Cherry Street. With it being the same day as the parade, the parade's at 4 o'clock that afternoon, and it'll run down Rankin. So from 12 until 8, we're going to close down Cherry Street and have vendors set up, and we'll have whether they make crafts or whatever they sell. We also have we'll have food. We are planning to have cocoa and Santa Claus. Just a good time to get together and do a little Christmas shopping. The local merchants will be open, and we're having a lot of support from them, and so it's just trying to draw people to the area, and everybody just have a good day spending in downtown Dunlap on the day of the Christmas parade.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Since you're going to start at 12, they could come early.
They could come early, so there's still daylight. Normally, it gets dark sooner. Yeah. So, and then there'll also be some lighting for those that want to stay, a little bit later. I know that in the past it's been a fun time, and a lot of people have enjoyed it. So this is the first year that Casa has done it. So the first year that the booth proceeds will benefit the program.
So that's how you'll raise your funds, is through the booth proceeds.
Yes, sir.
And excuse me, sorry. Are there other people other than Casa that's helping Casa? I mean, do you have other people other than the vendors and people?
We have the local merchants. We have teamed together with the local merchants in town. So we have, of course, the Dunlap Mercantile and local depot and the Game Shack. They're working with us and kind of helping to where we can promote this, and we'll have food from Willie D's And then and I'm pretty sure that there'll be activities in the yard that will probably be where Santa Claus is and stuff. And so just working with the local area merchants in the historic downtown and just trying to make it a fun evening for everybody.
Well, this will be a family event, basically.
Pure family event. Come out, they'll have a photographer, they can do some Christmas pictures. And then, of course, we have the parade coming through, and we'll just have a good day.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm hoping that it is. I'm hoping that it draws a lot of people, where we all just come together and enjoy some time.
And as you mentioned, this is the first time that Casa has done this.
Yes, sir.
So I guess you're a little nervous about it.
It is my first vendor event, yes. But then, as I was reminded, I didn't know what I was doing when I did a rodeo. So I guess we're going to make it happen. But with the support that I have from the community and from the local business owners, it's been wonderful. And so far, the booth rental has been successful, and I think we have a very wide variety. We may extend it a little bit further than where we had originally planned to cut it off. But I think that it's going to be a wonderful afternoon and evening.
Well, it sounds like, I know with all of our businesses, none of them, they all want to succeed, and they want everybody else to succeed, because if everyone else succeeds, they succeed as well. So it's a good, we have a lot of good businesses that help one another.
We do, and I thought it was really important, to bring everybody together. When you have a day like this where you can bring people together, where they can walk around town, and then there's things for people to do and shops for people to go into, and then the parade that follows that. They can get something to eat, and they can see Santa Claus, and I just think that it's just pulling a big community together. I'm a big supporter of community.
Well, do you need other volunteers to help, like with organization or
at
help
this moment? I think we're good with the volunteers. I'm always willing to, if somebody wants to volunteer to help with the organization of this or directing traffic or the interest or anything, then always that'd be very much appreciated. And the vendors, if you know anybody that's a vendor that would like to come out, it's $40 for a vendor spot. And then I'll have the vendor applications. You can either contact the chamber and they can get you a vendor application, or you can contact me at Sethra and I can get a vendor application to you. And then that just mail it in and let me know. And like I said, it's a $40 check. I just need to know if you need electricity or not. And then we'll just get you ironed up where you need to be.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm looking forward to it too, just to have that downtown, small town Christmas feel.
Well, other small towns that I've known of in the past have their little Christmas night and it brings in people to the shops and brings people out, and they have the hot chocolate and the cider and stuff like that, and Santa Claus. So it's a neat event.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Christmas events in small towns, and so just the thought of being able to be a part of something like this and to help orchestrate something like this in our community was very important to me.
Well, and I've been looking at some early Christmas decorations, and I've seen some things I thought, wow, that's pretty neat. There's some new stuff that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of talented people that have also signed up, to be vendors. That they do make their own crafts, and they've signed up, and they've been working really hard to get the stuff out. So I'm really thankful for them and for them wanting to be a part of it as well.
Well, that's good. I guess, of course, Santa Claus will be there somewhere.
He'll be there somewhere. I'm positive he'll make an appearance.
I'm sure the kids will be looking for that.
Yes. We'll be able to direct to his location when he gets there.
Yeah. And that'll be good, because I know that always draws more. Even if he's going to be in the parade, he'll be on Cherry Street.
He will. He'll be at Very Cherry Christmas somewhere.
Now, and all this money that you raise goes towards the Casa program.
It actually does. It goes, every single bit of it goes to the Casa program, and the funds that we use, it helps to support. And what we do is if we spend this money to recruit, screen, train, and support the volunteer advocates. And so every single bit of it is used by Casa.
Well, and would you take donations if someone wanted to
We
donate?
are always looking forward to taking donations from anybody that's willing to contribute to the program. And as I said, it's a national nonprofit organization. It was created in 1977 by a juvenile judge in Seattle, Washington. And he was kind of curious as to, like, if he was making the right decisions when he would go home from work. And he's like, did I make the right choice? Was the removal of that child the right choice? Was giving that child to that family member or back to the parents for reunification, did I make the right choice? What can I do to, and so he decided that he decided that he was going to form a committee. And this committee was just normal, regular, everyday people, that you don't have to have any special talents in this. He wanted to just know if he was making the right decision. So he got this committee, and they came up with this training, and he told them what he needed them to look for. And that formed the very first Casa program in Seattle. And since then, it has grown to where there's 951 Casas throughout the United States.
Well, I know, especially in people in general, not just children, but a lot of times they'll put on a front by laughing, and you think everything's going well, and when deep down it's not.
Actually, yes, you're right. The judges, what they look at us and they refer to us as sometimes with the eyes, ears, and legs of the court, because the volunteers, they get in. And when you have DCS involved in the case, or you have attorneys involved in the case, you need somebody that's just non-biased to the whole situation. And so with our obligation being the child, the advocate, of course, works with the child. What was the child? What's their story? And then, of course, we meet with the parents and we work through DCS as well. But we prepare a report that we provide to the judges, and it gives the history, the current situation, and then our findings, and then it provides our recommendations. Because Casa doesn't have the authority to remove a child or to place a child in a situation. We can merely make recommendations. So we make the recommendations based on the best interest of those children, and we submit those to the juvenile judges in the 4 counties in which we serve.
Well, and the children need representing sometimes.
I think lifting up the voice of a child, one of the questions that we always like to ask is, if you could tell the judge anything, what would you want them to know? And that's really important because, with everybody has their counsel, and even the children have a guardian ad litem as well that helps speak with them, but knowing what that child's story is, what's really going on, paint the picture of the family scenario and the life of that child, and help everybody understand exactly what's happening. And so that's, I think, why I'm so passionate about the program, is being able to lift up the voice of a child and make the difference in the life of a child every day is so, I don't even know that it's not, rewarding's not a good word for it, because that's not what it is. Just knowing that you've made a difference. You can just going out there and trying your best to do something so that somebody else has a better life, and serving others and doing for others. And that's basically how I look at our program, is if we can help a child, then we've done a good job.
Well, and of course, Christmas always brings out the best in everybody, usually.
I would hope so. We also, like, Christmas is hard. It's hard for Christmas with these kids that are in custody. Some of them are in family care. Some of them are in state custody. Christmas is always a tough time for us, because I know that we have people that are wanting to be with their children during Christmas, or their children that are wanting to be with their families during Christmas. And so when you just bring that holiday together, and these children, the children love their families, and they don't not love their families just because there was some type of abuse and neglect in the home. We have abuse and neglect, and there's so many different levels of abuse, but they don't not love their families, because those are their families. And so when we still sit here, and I know the children that we have out, knowing that they're not going to be with their families at Christmas, it's still sad. You kind of wish they were, but you know that they don't need to be.
Right. Well, and maybe this program will help you bring about many dollars this time. And we hope so, because Christmas is a fun time. I enjoy Christmas because I just like just being around people.
I enjoy being around people, and I hope to utilize some of the funds from this particular fundraiser to help if there is a kinship placement within a family member that's going to struggle. To provide the child that they're taking on to care for some Christmas. Maybe we can help them a little bit. Last year we worked with a local company, and they supplied for a full family, and I took the presents and delivered them to the family that would have otherwise not had that opportunity. So to say we have huge community support is an understatement. We do. But I would love to be able to do something like that and utilize some of these funds from this event just to help a child that won't have a Christmas.
Well, I know even when I taught school, there were many children that were being raised by grandparents or other family members that, for various reasons. And that was always sad. It
is. It's always sad because, when they're in DCS custody, the state goes through, they allow allotment for funds for these children to make sure that they have Christmas presents. And so those, if they're in state custody, they get a Christmas. And if you're in a kinship placement like you just spoke of, sometimes it's hard for that grandmother that just took on 4 grandkids when all she receives is Social Security.
Right.
It's hard for her to provide for 4 kids, and when you want to try to make it, it's bad enough that they're not going to be able to be with their family, and their norm is already shaken up. That you want to provide for them and give them something. So it's just really important to make sure that all of ours have something. So I'm looking forward to this event and hoping that we'll be able to receive donations and make enough off of it to be able to provide for 2 families that I have in mind.
Well, and maybe you could have a setup if people wanted to donate. I know we always donate around here to the Lions Club, but all the toys.
We will have a booth. We have a booth, and we have a lady that is making, she bakes a lot of goods in town and makes candy and stuff, and so she has actually donated her time and her skills to making some wonderful fudge and edibles and chocolate, and it's so good. So she's going to dedicate that, and she's going to donate all of her baked goods that she makes for us so that we can actually sell and have proceeds off of that. So Casa will have a booth, and we will be able to accept donations, and they would be greatly appreciated, as this event has a huge purpose behind it.
So folks need to save their money up for this event.
Well, between the vendors that are coming and just the excitement and just being in town, I mean, when you have everything in one stop, we'll have food. There'll be, to get beverages. Like I said, we have Willie D's that'll be there. They'll be open. They'll be serving food. We have something going on in the yard. We have the Game Shack that has their coffees and their teas and their things of that nature, and they're making specials for that day. And so when we have food and we have beverages and we have stuff, and then you have entertainment, and you have Santa Claus, and you have the parade, and you have shopping, and it's everything. It's one stop.
So come and have lunch, and then shop, and then have dinner, and then watch the parade.
If they want to, that'd be great. Yeah, we just hope everybody just has a good time and enjoys it.
And once again, give the Sethra number that they can contact you if they want to volunteer.
You can contact me at 949-2191, extension 124.
Okay, great. Well, Margie, anything else you'd like to add to what we've said?
No, just thank you very much for all your continued support.
Well, we appreciate it. And remember, you can see this program on BTC Fiber's YouTube channel as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. And until next time, thank you, and we'll see you then. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.